In this video, I will explain three things. First, how to interpret your academic grades and marks that you get at school. I will also explain the marking procedure that produced these marks in the first place. And then I will also present you with the academic expectations, particularly if you come to my class, and we'll explain those. So first off, on a quiz, your marks, your grades. So on a quiz you might score, I don't know, how about 93%? And usually it is interpreted as a level of achievement and brilliance. But at the same time, this interpretation doesn't acknowledge a part of the body of knowledge that isn't there, that's hidden. And whereas this part represents a level of lack of knowledge and a degree of unmet expectations, just as this part represents brilliance and achievement. And the two are side by side, because the body of knowledge that is to be learned is there. This is the full part or the whole body of knowledge. The expectation is in my classes that all of it that is to be learned is in fact learned. Colleges and universities, or maybe your favorite place of technical training, they might lower their standards to say 75% to keep you passing and keep you afloat in the system, and that's up to them. Still, again, a 75% passing mark would also mean that they allow a 25% portion to be ignored, a 25% portion that you would be lacking. Now, in real life, this tolerance really doesn't much work out, and this is how I usually explain it. For example, imagine an automobile that I design and build for you, and it's 93% good. And that means it's 7% bad. It doesn't have a front left wheel, and it doesn't have any, windshield wipers on it. None. So, does the manufacturer or do the representatives tell you when you complain that the vehicle has no front wheel and no wipers on it, that, come on man, it's 93% good, what's the big deal? No. As a customer, your expectation is that the vehicle be 100% good. That it has a tire, it has a wheel, it doesn't have a flat tire either, it doesn't have anything rattling in the body panels, nothing is squealy or squeaky, there's no brake noises, it steers straight, everything has to be 100% good, and the paint be not peeling. So, because this is a realistic expectation, likewise, my expectation in class is that you learn 100% of the body of knowledge that is to be learned. And it's not that is the cup half full or half empty, like popular culture would have you believe that there is a choice when actually there is none to be made. The cup is half full and half empty at the same time, just as you are a citizen of a country and a city at the same time. You can't be a citizen of Edmonton without being a citizen of Canada at the same time. So it's both, and because your expectations in real life are 100%, my expectations in this math class is also that you perform at a 100% level. Now, how does this 100% apply to marking? This is how. I got here 2 examples for you. For example, on a test question, you might see this problem here written up, 5.2 times 3. And if you write down that answer on your answer sheet or on the quiz, that answer is incorrect. Okay? The whole of it is incorrect. I'm not gonna split it into parts that say it's missing a decimal dot. That's what's wrong with it. The correct answer is 15.6. It's only missing one stray dot on a sheet of paper. Okay? So how do you quantify just one dot missing? Well, I'm not going to quantify one dot missing. If one dot is missing, the whole thing is incorrect. If one dot is wrong, the whole thing is wrong. Okay? I understand that these are correct digits, at least. I'm not going to give you a 93% mark here on this multiplication problem. This result is incorrect, and therefore that makes the whole thing incorrect. Because the result is incorrect, that means that you haven't learned something about multiplication. You don't have a clue where to put the decimal and how to place the decimal dot. Or, for example, in subtraction, when the issue is 9 take away 2.54, and you write up the multiplication as that. In that format, the subtraction. In this format, the subtraction is written up incorrectly. And I'm not going to quantify degrees of lack of knowledge or degrees of incorrectness. Okay, this 9 should be written here to even get started on this subtraction. And if you forget to trade some of this 9, because it's a 9.00, if you forget to trade some of this 9 for the tenths and for the hundredths place value, I'm not going to quantify degrees of incorrectness and forgetfulness. The whole thing is wrong, and any result you get here with missing any of the steps will get you an incorrect result here. Because this is how markings are done, this is also why the expectation again is that in the class here you perform 100%, that all of the knowledge that is to be learned you perform flawlessly at a 100% correctness level every time. One more thing, last thing about your marks is in technical terms it's called curriculum alignment. Curriculum alignment. Alignment. Now the word alignment isn't aligned very well, but I can't put my elbow any closer. So this curriculum alignment is about this. For example, if your schedule, this is your student schedule, if it says that you will convert fractions, and I'm just going to write that, to decimals, then in class, this is your class time, then in class I will make sure that you will be practicing converting fractions to decimals, okay? And I will also ensure that on a test or a quiz you will be given test questions that are reflecting this, maybe with different numbers. How about that? Okay, and here your schedule, your class time, and your testing, they all agree and consistently are on the same level. Now, some people might think it's a nice idea to throw in a challenge question or something. Well, a challenge question should look like this. Now that's a challenge fraction to have a decimal made out of. However, this one here, I'm going to write it here. This is not going to be a challenge question. If you find something like this on a test, let's convert 3/8 into metric millimeters. On the surface, it looks like, hey, it's let me see, converting fractions to decimal. Hey, there's a fraction. Check. Is this a conversion? Yes, we're going from inches to millimeters. Is there going to be a decimal number here? Yes, there's going to be a decimal number there. Therefore, it must be a conversion from fractions to decimal numbers. Well, incorrect. This is not a challenge question. This is a conversion from inches to millimeters. Okay? Whereas the steps required to convert a fraction to a decimal is one number operation. You have to do a long division or short division between the two numbers. Here, you have to do a division first, and then an extra multiplication, and that extra step has nothing to do what was discussed in class and what was planned for class. So because you're not gonna get challenge questions on quizzes like this one here ever in my classes, because we, as a small crew here, we can meticulously ensure and align the curriculum so that there is no mismatches like that. That's why also the expectation is, again, that you perform 100% here in class and you learn everything from the body of knowledge that is to be learned. I wish you well in your academic endeavors. Work hard.